There is a pattern that shortens bedtime for kids on the spectrum, but it's probably not the one you've been told to follow. Hi, I'm Diane Lusney, and I support moms with kids who are on the autism spectrum, and they're aged 4 to 12, and they struggle with sleep. Today, I'm going to share with you the high-level pattern that actually makes bedtime shorter, calmer, and less exhausting for everyone. Point 1. The preparation window. Here's the first thing you need to understand. Bedtime doesn't start at bedtime. It's actually a 24-hour process, but for today, I'll focus on the evening. If you're waiting until your child's bedtime routine to begin helping your child wind down, you're starting too late. Especially for kids on the autism spectrum, their nervous system needs a much longer runway to prepare for sleep. So that preparation needs to start earlier. Think of it like landing a plane. The pilot doesn't wait until they're directly over the runway to start descending. They begin the descent a long way out, gradually lowering altitude, adjusting their speed, preparing for a smooth landing. That's what your child's nervous system needs. A gradual, intentional descent into calm, not a sudden drop. This is why so many families get stuck in the 3-hour bedtime routine. They're trying to create calm in the moment when the nervous system needed preparation much earlier in the evening. By the time you're starting the bedtime routine, your child is already too dysregulated to settle quickly. What you can do. Starting tonight, set yourself a calm down alarm for perhaps 90 minutes before the actual bedtime, depending on your routine length. When the alarm goes off, make 3 environmental changes. Reduce the brightness of the lights in your house, and when possible, no overhead lights. 2, turn off or reduce the brightness of screens and reduce the excitement level of whatever is on the screen, whether it's TV, tablets, phone. Everything should have a calmer feel about it. And 3, slow down and calm your own voice and movements. You're not starting this at bedtime. You're creating an atmospheric shift that tells your child's nervous system the day is winding down. These 3 simple changes create the preparation window that makes actual bedtime so much easier. This is the long, slow descent in preparation for the bedtime routine. Point 2. Regulation over routine. The environment has been changed to support regulation. Now let's focus on your child's regulation. We do this to support them having a positive bedtime routine, because you can have the perfect bedtime routine, but if your child is dysregulated, it won't work. On the other hand, even a simple routine can work beautifully if your child's nervous system is calm and ready. What I want you to understand is that this is a mindset shift. Instead of asking, are we following the routine? Start asking, is my child regulated enough to begin their bedtime routine? If the answer is no, pause the routine and focus on regulation first. That might mean offering deep pressure, doing some calming movement, or simply giving them more time to settle. Think of it like trying to read a book while someone is shaking a table. Even if you have the book open and you're trying to focus, the shaking makes it impossible. The routine is the book, but regulation is the steady table. Without the steady table, it doesn't matter how good the book is. What you can do. Tonight, before you even start bath or books or any part of the bedtime routine, do a 30-second regulation check. Look at your child and ask yourself, are they calm or are they activated right now? If they're calm, breathing normally, moving at a normal pace, able to make eye contact. Whichever signs your child demonstrates, move forward with your routine. If they're activated, breathing fast, moving quickly, avoiding contact, or seeking tons of input, or whatever it is for them, stop and regulate first. It might only be 3 to 5 minutes of doing something that grounds them and regulates them. Have them push against a wall with their hands. Do 10 slow motion squats together, or have them squeeze and release a pillow slowly 5 times in time with their breathing. 4 count inhale and tight squeeze, and a 6 count slow exhale and slow release. Do this with them so your system can downshift as well. Once you see their body settle, then start the bedtime routine. This one check saves you from fighting through a routine that was never going to work. If you would like some new regulation ideas, click on the link in the description for my free T-zone system for relaxation and sleep. Point 3, the pattern in action. Let me show you what this would look like in real life. Picture a mom whose daughter's bedtime consistently takes 3 hours. Every night is a battle. One more story, one more drink, one more trip to the bathroom. The mom is exhausted, resentful, and is convinced her daughter is doing this on purpose in order to stay up longer. The mom's patience is running out, which the daughter picks up on and increases the tension and demands. What might be happening? The daughter's nervous system is already dysregulated by the time bedtime starts. She came off a full day of school, sensory overload, and was trying to hold it together. And by bedtime, she's running on fumes. She's both tired and dysregulated. The bedtime routine isn't the problem. The lack of nervous system preparation earlier in the day is. So, let's shift focus. Instead of focusing on the bedtime routine, the mom preps for it by starting the environmental preparation early with reducing lights, and she moves and speaks slower and with more intention. This might not reduce the daughter's dysregulation, but it also won't add to it. Then the mom assesses how the daughter is doing. She sees signs of exhaustion and perhaps the possibility of a meltdown. The focus becomes regulation, whatever it is that helps her daughter to regulate. Once more regulated, the tiredness will become a stronger issue, and the bedtime routine can begin. If there is high dysregulation in the evening, more regulation time is scheduled in the evening. Things like deep pressure, repetitive heavy movement, like slow squats or wall or counter push-ups. By the time they start the actual bedtime routine, even if it's later than usual, it is more successful since her nervous system is calmer and ready to follow a routine. The result? The evening schedule shifts from an extended bedtime routine battle to regulation time and bedtime routine to regulation time and a quicker bedtime routine because of the regulation. This might take a couple of weeks or longer to fully implement and for the bedtime routine to tighten up, but I can't think of a better way to spend time than prepping a child to have good sleep. That's the pattern. Begin with the environmental preparation earlier, then regulation first, bedtime routine second. What you can do. Tonight, try this exact sequence. Start regulating as a family earlier in the evening. The bonus of doing this, everyone will sleep better as everyone's body preps for a relaxing evening. Next, assess the level of dysregulation and allow for activities and time prior to the bedtime routine. Follow with their bedtime routine. Then, be patient. Most people with autism love their routines, and there can be a backlash when there is a change, even if the change is a positive one. Please share your thoughts on this. Perhaps for brevity's sake, I've missed something important. Does what I've said make sense to you? Are you going to try it? I'd love to hear how it went. Also, what would you do with your evenings if you had them back? 3 keys to remember. Bedtime doesn't start at bedtime. Regulation matters more than routine. And the goal is to work with your child's nervous system, not against it. But here's the problem. How do you actually build the system for your family when you're exhausted? Your child battles back. And what I just shared isn't exactly how it's working out in your life. Change is hard. I'm recording this in January, and I'm sure most people have already scrapped their New Year's resolutions. So how do you have success? That's what I'm going to walk you through in the next video. The missing piece that makes calm bedtimes possible.